Stress and tragedy do not knock politely at the door of your life. They arrive unannounced, uninvited, and often at the worst possible moments. They tear through stability, unravel routines, and shatter the illusion that life can ever be perfectly controlled. In those moments, the ground beneath your feet feels like it has vanished. The mind races, the heart sinks, and suddenly, the weight of existence feels unbearable. Most people believe this is where their story ends, that once tragedy strikes or stress overwhelms, their life will forever be defined by the darkness of that moment. But the truth is far different. These moments are not the end of your story. They are the raw beginning of transformation. Every hardship carries within it the seed of strength. Every storm that shakes you is also shaping you. The chaos is not here merely to destroy. It is here to demand something more from you, to strip away illusions, and to reveal what has been buried deep inside. Stress and tragedy are not signals of weakness. They are invitations to rise. But the choice remains yours. Some collapse under the weight because surrendering their spirit to despair, while others stand up defiant and declare that this will not be the moment that breaks them. Life does not ask permission before it delivers suffering. No one is exempt. No matter how carefully you plan, how deeply you prepare, or how strongly you build, storms will come. The real question is never if you will face pain, but what you will do when it arrives. Will you let it carve scars that harden your heart, or will you allow it to mold you into something unshakable? The difference lies not in the severity of the tragedy, but in the decision of how you respond. You see, stress and tragedy are like fire. Fire has the power to consume, to reduce everything to ash, but it also has the power to forge, to temper steel, and to bring light where there was once only darkness. Whether the fire destroys you or refines you depends on whether you step into it as a victim or as a fighter. The fire itself is not the enemy. The true battle is always within. Inside your mind, your choices, and your will. Think about it. Every story of triumph, every account of greatness, every example of resilience begins not with comfort, but with struggle. No one has ever become extraordinary through ease. It is the broken places that give birth to strength. It is the sleepless nights, the silent tears, the moments when you think you cannot endure another second. That's where the foundation of power is built. If you are carrying stress that feels unbearable or facing tragedy that seems impossible to overcome, know this. You are standing on sacred ground. This is the place your greatest transformation begins. The world may tell you that pain is the end. That loss defines you. That stress will consume you. But what if the opposite is true? What if stress is the very pressure that reveals your resilience? What if tragedy is not here to define your weakness, but to uncover your strength? What if this moment that feels like an ending is, in truth, the spark of your rebirth? This is the choice before you to surrender to the weight or to rise with it, to collapse beneath tragedy or to use it as the fuel that ignites an unshakable spirit. The storms will not stop coming. The stress will not disappear. Tragedy will touch every life in one way or another. But those who rise from it, those who dare to see beyond the pain, are the ones who transform their suffering into strength, their chaos into clarity, and their brokenness into brilliance. And it begins here in this very moment with a decision. You will not be broken. You will not be defined by what happens to you. You will rise, not in spite of your struggles, but because of them. Stress is not a minor inconvenience. It is not something you simply shake off with a smile or ignore until it disappears. Stress is the silent weight pressing down on your chest, the constant noise inside your mind, the invisible force that drains your energy day after day. Left unchecked, it becomes a storm that seeps into every corner of life, your health, your relationships, your purpose. And tragedy, even heavier, does not ask permission before it rips through your world. It arrives like an earthquake, dismantling the structures you thought were unshakable. It is the loss, the heartbreak, the unexpected blow that leaves you gasping for meaning in the wreckage. Yet here lies the reality. Most people avoid stress, and tragedy cannot be outrun. No matter how desperately you try to escape, they follow. People numb themselves with distractions, bury themselves in work, hide behind empty pleasures, hoping the pain will vanish. But avoidance is an illusion. Denial is a trap. Ignoring the weight does not lift it and multiply it. Healing does not begin with escape. Growth does not come through pretending. It begins when you turn around, face the storm directly, and declare, "You will not control me." The reason so many remain crushed under stress is not because they are weak, but because they spend their lives resisting what must be confronted. Stress has a way of pointing to the cracks in your foundation. It shows you where you are vulnerable, where you've been ignoring your own needs, where you've allowed fear or doubt to control you. Tragedy, painful as it is, holds a mirror to life itself. It reveals the truths we avoid, the impermanence of everything, the fragility of plans, the limits of control. And while this revelation cuts deeply, it is also the doorway to wisdom. When you face stress and tragedy head on, you begin to see something powerful. They were never here solely to destroy you. They were here to awaken you. They strip away comfort, yes, but in doing so, they uncover strength you never realized you had. Every sleepless night, every heavy moment of grief, every burden that seems too heavy to bear, they are all shaping you into someone who can endure more than you once thought possible. The truth is simple. You cannot choose whether or not stress and tragedy will come. Life guarantees both. What you can choose is how you meet them. You can crumble, retreat into despair, and let them define your identity. Or you can rise, stare into the chaos, and discover the warrior within you that only hardship can reveal. When you stop running, you reclaim your power. You begin to transform stress from something that crushes you into something that sharpens you. You turn tragedy from an ending into a beginning. It doesn't mean the pain disappears. It doesn't mean the struggle vanishes, but it does mean the pain no longer owns you. The tragedy no longer defines you. So face the storm. Do not turn your back on it. Because the very thing you fear might just be the very thing that forges the version of you who is unbreakable. The greatest battles you will ever fight are not against people, circumstances, or even tragedies themselves. They are fought in the quiet space between your ears. In the battlefield of your mind, stress and tragedy by themselves are neutral forces. What gives them power over you is the meaning you attach to them. Two people can face the same storm. One collapses, the other emerges stronger than before. What separates them is not the size of the tragedy, but the mindset they carry through it. Pain is inevitable. Every human being will feel it. But suffering, prolonged, destructive, soul-crushing suffering, that is a choice. Suffering is the product of resistance, of clinging to what was lost, of feeding the belief that you are powerless. Stress may arrive without warning, but whether it imprisons you or trains you depends entirely on how you frame it. The shift in mindset is not about pretending the pain doesn't exist. It's about choosing what story the pain will tell about you. Most people unconsciously choose to be victims of their circumstances. They say, this happened to me, so my life is ruined. This stress exists, so I cannot move forward. This tragedy occurred, so happiness is no longer possible. But here's the truth. You are not defined by what happens to you. You are defined by what you do with what happens to you. Life will hand you events you cannot control, but it will also hand you the freedom to decide how those events shape you. That decision, your response, is where true power lives. Shift your mindset, and everything changes. What once looked like punishment begins to look like preparation. What once felt like a dead end transforms into a hidden doorway. Stress becomes less of an enemy and more of a trainer, shaping you into someone who can carry more, endure more, and rise higher. Tragedy becomes less of a curse and more of a calling, pulling from within you levels of compassion, courage, and strength you may have never accessed before. This does not mean the pain magically vanishes. It means you learn to reframe the pain. You begin to ask better questions. Not, why did this happen to me? But what can I create from this? How can I grow from this? Who can I become because of this? Those questions shift your perspective from paralysis to possibility. And possibility is the birthplace of transformation. Understand this, the mind is the architect of reality. If you tell yourself that tragedy has broken you, you will live broken. If you convince yourself stress is unmanageable, you will drown in it. But if you choose to believe that within every struggle lies a seed of power, you will begin to live differently. You will stand taller. You will think sharper. You will endure longer. And most importantly, you will refuse to let the storm dictate your story. Shifting the mindset does not erase the storm. It equips you to walk through it. It does not erase tragedy. It transforms it into wisdom. It does not eliminate stress. It converts it into strength. The moment you understand that your response, not the circumstance, determines your destiny, you step out of the role of victim and into the role of creator. So ask yourself, will you allow your mind to imprison you or will you train it to liberate you? Because when you shift your mindset, stress and tragedy lose their grip. They no longer own you. They serve you. Resilience is often misunderstood. People think it means being untouched by pain, untouched by stress, untouched by tragedy, as if resilience were a shield that makes you invincible. But resilience is not about being untouched. It is about refusing to be undone. It is the ability to bend without breaking, to fall yet rise again, to be wounded yet continue forward. Resilience is not the absence of scars. It is the proof that scars did not end you. Think about what resilience really means. It is the strength of faith should have destroyed you and still stand. It is the quiet courage to take another step when your legs feel too heavy to move. It is the fire inside that whispers, not yet. I am not finished. Even when every part of you screams for surrender. Resilience is not glamorous. It is forged in sleepless nights, in moments of despair, in the silent battles no one else sees. And yet, it is those very battles that become the foundation of unshakable strength. Every time you have been hurt, you were also given an opportunity to heal stronger. Every time you were knocked down, you were offered the chance to rise taller. You may not realize it now, but you have already proven resilience. You are here listening, breathing, surviving. That means every tragedy you have ever faced, every stress you thought was impossible, has not destroyed you. You may carry scars, but scars are evidence of survival. They are reminders that the wounds have closed, that you are still moving forward, that you are not broken. You are battle-tested. Resilience is not about pretending everything is fine. It is not about smiling through tragedy or denying the weight of stress. It is about acknowledging the pain, carrying it with you, and choosing to keep moving anyway. It is the refusal to let circumstances dictate whether you rise or collapse. It is the commitment to endure, even when there seems to be no reward for endurance. Understand this, resilience grows in the moments you want to quit but don't. Every time you face stress and decide to breathe through it instead of running from it, resilience is growing. Every time tragedy tempts you to give up, but you take even the smallest step forward, resilience is being forged. It is not built in comfort, it is built in struggle. And the greater the struggle, the greater the resilience that is waiting to be born. The beauty of resilience is that it multiplies. Once you survive one storm, You realize you can survive another. Once you endure one tragedy, you discover an inner strength you didn't know existed. The next time life presses against you, you remember, I've been here before, and I rose. I will rise again. That memory, that lived experience of rising from ashes becomes your shield against future storms. Resilience transforms tragedy into testimony. It turns stress into strength. It takes what was meant to break you and uses it to build you. And with each trial, each weight, each hardship, you are not becoming weaker. You are becoming unshakable, so embrace resilience, not as a distant trait that only a few possess, but as a power already living inside you. It is the fire that refuses to die, no matter how strong the winds of life blow. It is the voice inside that says, I will not end here. That power is yours, and it is waiting for you to claim it fully, to let it guide you through every storm, to let it transform every wound into wisdom and every fall into a rise. Pain is one of life's most relentless teachers. It cuts deep, it burns, it takes from you without asking. And yet, hidden within it is a force unlike any other. Pain carries with it the raw energy of transformation. The very thing that feels like it's tearing you apart is the same thing that can build you into someone far stronger than you ever imagined. But here is the truth. Pain by itself does not transform you. What transforms you is what you decide to do with it. Most people run from pain. They suppress it, bury it, try to numb it with distractions or silence it with denial. But ignored pain doesn't disappear. It festers. It seeps into the mind, poisons the heart, and chains the spirit. The only way to break free is to face it, to lean into it, and to transform it into fuel. Pain can destroy you, yes, but it can also be the fire that forges you into unshakable steel. Turning pain into power begins with reframing it. Stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what can I build from this? What can I create because of this? Who can I become as a result of this? The moment you shift the question, the meaning changes. Suddenly, pain is no longer a curse. It is a calling. It is no longer the end of your story. It is the chapter where your strength is born. Think of every great breakthrough in history, every act of extraordinary courage, every story of triumph. It was always born from pain. The innovators, the leaders, the warriors of life, none of them were sculpted in comfort. They were refined in fire. And so are you. Your pain is not meaningless. It is not wasted. It is the raw material out of which resilience, compassion, wisdom, and strength are crafted. When you stop hiding from your pain and begin to channel it, it transforms. The stress that once drained you becomes the energy to create change. The tragedy that once broke you becomes the foundation of unshakable purpose. The loss you thought would end you becomes the fuel that drives you to rise higher, live deeper, and impact others. Your scars are not weakness, they are symbols of power. They say, I was here, I suffered, I endured, and I rose. Every scar tells a story of survival, and within survival lies strength. That strength can be harnessed not just for yourself, but for others. Imagine the power of turning your pain into a testimony that inspires someone else to keep going. Imagine transforming your suffering into wisdom that guides another through their storm. Your pain, once seen as a burden, can become the very thing that lights the way for someone else. But the choice is yours. You can allow pain to keep you chained, repeating the same wounds, trapped in cycles of despair. Or you can stand tall, grab hold of it, and say, this will not destroy me. This will empower me. When you do that, the pain loses its grip. It no longer weakens you, it strengthens you. It no longer imprisons you, it fuels your liberation. Remember, pain is inevitable, but power is optional. Every tragedy, every heartbreak, every sleepless night can be either a chain or a catalyst. You decide. Use it, transform it, because the very thing that once broke you has the potential to build you into something unstoppable. There comes a moment when reflection must give way to decision. A moment when no more preparation, no more waiting, no more hesitation is allowed, because life does not slow down for your doubts. Stress will not wait until you feel strong enough. Tragedy will not ask if you are ready before it strikes. The storms will come, with or without your permission. And the only question that matters is, will you rise or will you let them bury you? This is the moment where you decide, not tomorrow, not when things feel easier, not when the pain fades. Now, because the truth is, there will never be a perfect time to take control of your life. If you wait for the day when the weight disappears, you will wait forever. Transformation begins not when the storm ends, but when you stand up in the middle of it and declare, I will not be broken. You have faced enough to know what suffering feels like. You have carried burdens heavy enough to understand their cost. And yet you are still here. That means something. It means you have already proven strength you don't even give yourself credit for. It means the story is not finished. The fact that you are breathing, the fact that you are listening, the fact that your heart still beats despite everything, that is proof of resilience already alive within you. But now it's time to stop surviving and start transforming. Do not underestimate the power of decision. In one instant, you can rewrite the entire course of your life. Pain does not vanish, but your relationship with it changes. Stress does not disappear, but you stop letting it control you. Tragedy does not erase your future. You claim it back by refusing to be defined by loss. It begins the moment you choose to stop hiding, stop waiting, and stop surrendering to what life throws at you. This is your turning point. Imagine standing at the edge of everything you've endured, every scar, every sleepless night, every moment when you thought you couldn't take one more step. Now imagine choosing to use all of it as fuel, Imagine taking every ounce of pain and channeling it into power, every moment of stress and converting it into strength, every tragedy and transforming it into purpose. That is the life waiting for you. But you have to step into it. The world doesn't need another person crushed by hardship. It doesn't need another soul silenced by tragedy. It needs proof, living, breathing proof that the human spirit cannot be broken. It needs you, because somewhere out there is someone who will one day need your story of survival. Somewhere out there is someone who will only believe they can rise when they see that you did. Your transformation is not just for you. It is for everyone your life will touch. So here's the call: stand up. Not tomorrow, not when the pain is gone, but now. Decide that you will not be defined by tragedy. Decide that stress will not dictate the terms of your life. Decide that pain will no longer be your prison, but your power. This is the moment where you rise, not in spite of your struggles, but because of them. Your life is calling. Your strength is waiting. The time is now. Rise.